Hola amigos, Brad Evans here with another edition of Bring the Noise, my weekly AMA, helping you fantasy footballers and sports bettors out there with all of your various needs ahead of the NFL Week 9 main slate. Hope you had a happy Halloween. Still hopefully not too hungover from the festivities on a Friday, but hopefully we're going to sink our teeth into some sweet treats today on the gridiron, which will optimistically propel us into the winner's circle. So you see the various ways you can get a hold of me here on the show. You can submit your questions via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at the Big Noise 78 channel, YouTube and Faith the Noise, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. We'll be here for the next several minutes. Again, addressing all of your fantasy or sports betting needs. And as your questions are locking and loading here on the show, a couple of friendly reminders. Number one, go to thegamingjuice.com right now, you jackals. Hopefully you're watching this show on my website. It's absolutely free. Yeah, I don't charge you a single penny, not a single dime. All of my content lives there. My fantasy rankings each and every week, constantly updating those, shifting guys about throughout the entire week. I'll have a new batch of rankings up for week 10. We're almost in the double-digit weeks already of the season, flying by. Probably later tonight, if not early tomorrow. Of course, all of my Fantasy Flames pieces at quarterback, running back, wide receiver / tight end also live on the site. The college football forecast from Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson, and Matt Fortuna. They populate their picks in that sport. And I usually post that every single Thursday on thegamingjuice.com. Got to have some college basketball content rolling out pretty soon. Season gets underway on Mondays. Got always free and accessible game picks. You can check those out on my spreadsheet at your leisure, at your convenience, and all my NFL picks live there as well. You can ask me a question too throughout the entire week. Get it all at my site, thegamingjuice.com. It's 100% free. You have no excuses. Also, my friends at Betalytics.com, I use their projections as a point of a research analysis every single day when I'm combing over all the various offerings of the various sports books, whether it's tied to the player props market, whether it's tied to traditional sides or totals, they got it all. And if you use promo code JUICE, again, that's promo code JUICE, you get 25% off everything they have to offer. Rachel Krychek and my Canadian friends there at Betalytics. So check out the site. And again, use promo code JUICE for 25% off your subscription today. Again, before we get in to the abbreviated edition of the Fave 5 Countdown, those are the ways you can get your question answered here on this weekly AMA via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube and the Faith the Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Let's do a top 3 and 3-1 countdown of some of my favorite player props ahead of the week 9 NFL main slate. I'm going to go with Power Up on LA Charger, Kamani Vidal. I took the over at 73.5 rush yards. I even sprinkled this on like a step ladder, maybe taking him at 80, 90. I think he could flirt or exceed 100 rush yards as well. It's a sensational matchup. I mean, the Titans are just rotten when it comes to defending the run. They're number 27 in rush EPA defense, giving a 5.08 yards per carry and 119.4 rush yards per game. Just to the running back position. 4 running backs have had at least 75 yards on the ground against them. And Vidal, Hassan Haskins, still out of action with that hamstring injury. Patterson will supplant him only on the rare occasion, but he's been pretty damn good. He's gone over this in 2 of his last 3 games. He's got a surplus in terms of yak per attempt at 3.04 on the year. And you look at the last 3 games, 21 carries, 13 touches, 24 touches. And that is a driving force, that volume. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume. Dance, dance. Kamani Vidal, Nimmo Trace on this Bring the Noise AMA countdown on that over 73.5 rush yards. I think he is a borderline RB1 in 12-team leagues. Numeros on the countdown. Let's go on to the prime time lights. And a guy I wrote about on the gamingjuice.com. And if you are chucking a desperate heave at your flex position due to the bye weeks, again, Cleveland, the New York Jets, Philadelphia, and Tampa all on that 1 week siesta. Jeremy McNichols could be decent in a pinch. I took him at 20 plus receiving yards in the alt market, got it plus money, plus 110. Banked that one at ESPN Bet. Why do I like Nichols? Well, Seattle is allergic, folks, to defending the short field. They're one of the most generous defenses when it comes to pass catching running backs. They've allowed the most receptions to RBs at 47 this season. They've also allowed the most receiving yards to running backs as well, 51.3 yards per game. That is a specialty of McNichols. Yes, he is involved in an RBBC with Bill Jacory Krosky-Merritt and also Chris Rodriguez, really an afterthought in that scheme, but a guy that's averaging 9.3 yards per catch. He's top 10 in yak per reception. He's running 10.5 routes a game. I kind of like the over as well on 2.5 receptions, but I think the real value lies in receiving yards, the alt market, 20 plus against those Hawks tonight at a plus 110 juice at ESPN Bet. And numero uno on this abbreviated edition of the Fade 5 Countdown. I'm a hunter-gatherer, man. I like Kareem Hunt today. I think he's going to be a top 20 fantasy running back through and through. And really, the marquee matchup of this NFL Week 9. Can't believe this one's not going to be played under the primetime lights. But in Western New York, the Buffalo Bills welcome that recent arrival in the Kansas City Chiefs, a pair of teams that typically have met deep into the playoffs. This one, a regular season matchup. I like Kareem Hunt to splash 6. He got no Isaiah Pacheco. And the fact that this is at plus money, it seems like a gift from the gambling gods. I actually secured this one plus 115 at DraftKings Sportsbook. You look at Hunt, he has scored 5 touchdowns, coming off a 2-touchdown game last week. He is top 15 among all NFL running backs in red zone touches, getting an appreciable amount on a per game basis in that category. And, you know, you see the overall total in this game is at 52.5. Points shall indeed be plentiful. And you look at the Buffalo Bills, man, they've been riding on the struggle bus, really front seat passengers defending the run outside the top 25 in rush EPA defense. They're giving up over or nearly 5 yards per carry, the running back position, over 100 rush yards per game, and all kinds of TDs as well. So I think Kareem Hunt punches one in for 6, anytime touchdown, plus 115. Again, I believe he's going to be a top 20 contributor in fantasy football today and in this week. All right, speaking of fantasy football, if you got any of those questions or you want to share your sports betting thoughts, please submit them. There are the various ways, the bottom of your screen, to get a hold of me here on this AMA broadcast. I'll be here for the next several minutes, rifling through all of your various needs. You can hit me up via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube at the Faith Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there, at Noisy Huevo. Sign up at thegamingjuice.com. You have zero excuses. Check out all of my content there. Please support me with all the free content I provide you. Just go to the site and sign up for a free account. No, I don't charge you anything. All I am requiring is an email address. That's how simple it is to sign up. You can probably even give me a fake one, and we're all good. So go to thegamingjuice.com. Read all of my tremendous infotainment-style content there. The most decorated writer in fantasy football history. I love to write. And I continue to scroll the fingers across the keyboard there at thegamingjuice.com soon with college basketball content. And also go to my friends at betalytics.com and sign up for an account. Use their awesome projections. Generally pretty accurate stuff there. The Rachel Krychak and company are churning and cranking out. I use it as a research resource every single day on BetMGM tonight. Check out my show, 7:11 p.m. Eastern time. Monday through Friday across the BetMGM network. You can also check me out on Bleacher Report later this morning at 11 o'clock Central, noon Eastern. Going to be doing another edition of that show with my buddy Danny Kleppinger, and she is live from Ooh La La Petit Francais. So make sure you tune in for that. We're going to be running down game breakdowns, every single matchup in the NFL this week, and offering up our 2 cents on your various questions. So if you get your question not answered here, chances are you're going to. You could always double down and get it answered on the Bleacher Report show. But go to Betalytics and use that promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off today. All right, let's go ahead and get after it and bat and lead off today. And congratulations, the LA Dodgers. That was just a magnificent Game 7 last night. Drama. Definitely on the high end. I guess it pays to win championships. $350 million budget. And there you go. Wham, bam, and raise a trophy. Dave Roberts and company. But they earned it. The Blue Jays blew it. Unfortunately, they're at home. 2 opportunities to close them out in all Canada. And the Maple Leafs certainly can't get it done. So that is awfully too bad, but a tremendous capper to a wonderful MLB season. All right, TB12, BB6 says, hola, Brad. PBR, Horton, who is going to be filling in, it sounds like, for Cooper Kupp, who I was rather high on until the hamstring injury popped up. And he is unlikely to play, according to Adam Schefter. So you got Horton, Bourne, DK, Tucker, Dobbs, Washington. If you only need one, I'd probably either go with Trey Tucker or Parker Washington. It's really 1A, 1B in my mind in that situation. I kind of like Tucker in his matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Conversely, same game, different name, in Parker Washington. And with no Travis Hunter, I can see a nice surplus in overall targets. So, oh, God, stretching and pulling me. Give me Washington. Slight advantage there over Trey Tucker out of that group of wide receivers. Good luck to you there. Dylan says, morning. Let's have a day indeed. Let's hopefully have a profitable Sunday. Full point PPR, 1 flex. Tyler Higbee, or no, excuse me, T. Higgins, Reed Evans, Tucker Kraft against Carolina, leaning Kraft, and I would continue to lean Kraft. Flacco shoulder worries me. That sounds like he's going to be able to give it a go. He said he was gripping it and ripping it on Friday in practice without a whole lot of hindrances. I mean, he's 40, man. I'm in my 40s. You wake up with all kinds of creaks and cracks in the bones and the tendons, and you got to work it out. And he certainly did that. So I think he's going to be A-okay. But I totally agree that Tucker Kraft is a way to go, man. He has been a points scoring machine. Good luck to you. Tip says, yo, Brad, bring the noise. That's what I do, my brother. Every single week I try to on this broadcast and all the various broadcasts, and I'm tossing out to the masses. I can hear this annoying voice, and you can see this highly punchable face again weekdays. BetMGM tonight, 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Streams on my site on thegamingjuice.com. Bill says, good morning, Brad. Hola. And a PBR Superflex, would you go with Bryce Young, Dobbins, Franklin, Marks, or Dobbs? Always go with the quarterback. Unless you're dealing like Dylan Gabriel and the true dregs of the keg. I got to go with what I feel is going to be some guaranteed production unless Young goes out there throws an INT and immediately gets yanked. I don't think that's going to be the case. He's good to go. And they're likely going to be playing from behind in this game. They're double-digit dogs are the Carolina Panthers. So let it simmer. Take a chill pill. It could come out smelling like a rose there in garbage time. But, I got to go Bryce Young in a super flex all day. Sean says, hola, amigo, on a flex high point PBR, J.K. Dobbins or Mandatory Montgomery at Jackals. I think Mandatory Montgomery has got to find the end zone. I bet on him in the anytime touchdown market. The weakness of the Minnesota Vikings is clearly defending the run. They're number 25 in rush EPA defense. They're giving up 108.3 rush yards per game just to the running back position. And you look at Montgomery, scored touchdown 3-7 games. It may not be a surplus of yardage. You're hoping for like 50 and a touch. But if he gets 50 and that touch, I think he's going to best anything Dobbins does today. So slight lean to mandatory Montgomery. You jackal. Good luck there, Sean. Pat says, morning, Eggman. Yes, indeed. I'm aerodynamic. I look tougher. You don't want to bump into me in a dark alley late at night. I will say that. Unless you're looking for some fantasy advice, and I'll probably dole it out. PBR flex spot, Vidal Manungai or Ashen Genty. Oh, you want the sledgehammer? Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Look, Manungai is muy interesante, and he's got a supreme matchup against those Queen City Cats. I like him quite a bit. Genty, a little bit tougher matchup going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with Kamani Vidal. Look, I bet on him on the over on 73.5 rush yards. I think there's a decent chance he's going to cross the century mark, and I think he's going to find the end zone as well. So good luck to you, Pat. Embarrassment of riches. I wish I had all those options. Pete says, good morning. And he says, go Monmouth Hawks, as he always does. Would you start with Vidal or Manungai? Again, 1A, 1B situation based on the player props markets that are out there. Both these guys have their rush yards in the mid-70s. And I love me some Manungai. I like the matchup quite a bit. But Kamani Vidal is somebody I simply cannot turn a blind eye to. I think the Chargers heavily favored. They're favored by 9.5 or going to roll on the road in Nash Vegas, which positive game script means Kamani Vidal. Dude, you got a Vidal could definitely serve the masses quite well. All right, let's see. Who is this? _AJ. Spears or Brashard Smith at a PPR flex. I'm going to go Brashard Smith here. Again, he could have a decent role as a runner. I think Kareem Hunt will obviously be the main man. Will obviously get the bulk of the red zone work against a weakened front of the Buffalo Bills, who have underachieved all season long. But what is especially Brashard Smith? Catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. I think this could be another 3-catch kind of game for him, and one with pew, 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 a whole lot of shootout appeal. So definitely go Smith over the Tennessee Titan there. Thomas says, top of the morning, fellow. Yeah, if I had an Irish accent, I would use it, but I don't want to butcher that beautiful language. Pick 2, PBR, Monty Addison or Dobbs, and Nix or Stafford. I'm going to go Stafford at quarterback for sure. A minimum of 2 touchdown passes today. In my mind, give me mandatory Montgomery. And I guess I'm going to go actually Romeo Dobbs. I don't trust J.J. McCarthy as far as I can throw him. And he's a girthy fellow, so probably not all that far. So I'm going to avoid Jordan Addison. Phil says, hola, amigo. I need a running back and a flex and a PPR. Chase Brown getting down with my dude there, the maple syrup. Jalen Warren, Quentin Johnson, Oronde Gadsden, who has been sensational here of late. I'm going to get down with my guy, Chase Brown, against some main Chicago Bears. I think he's got a really good shot of finding the end zone today. Warren is a close second, but I'm going to go with Gadsden, man. I think he's got to catch probably 4 or 5 balls. Like, he's going to exceed 50 yards. Really good shot. He's got to splash 6 as well. Good luck to you there. Bandit says, hola, amigo. Need 2 quarterbacks and a super flex. Dart, Daniels, Darnold. Daniels is in. And I'm going to go Jackson Dart, ever so slight advantage over Sam Darnold. I don't think you can really lose in this situation. It's called a lucky 7 situation is what I've nicknamed it. I think all these guys have a really good shot at scoring at least 18 fantasy points, but you can't sit Daniels. And Dart, I bet I'm going to anytime touchdown at plus 200 at BetMGM. So I'm going to stick to my guns there and say he finds the end zone with the legs. May not do a whole lot through the air, but I think the floor is a little bit higher compared to Sam Darnold. Woodbine 3, hola, amigo, football PPR, DJ Moore or Oronde Gadsden. Both very close, but again, I feel Gadsden's going to get past the 50-yard mark and a really good chance of finding the end zone. Of course, the G word, the L word, easy money, all that stuff, they don't exist in betting. They don't exist in fantasy either. If anybody is, dishing that out, you're following, just hit the mute button, man. Those snake oil sales individuals need to get their heads examined because they're selling a bill of goods. These are humans after all. We could have all the data back up the reasoning, and sometimes it goes exactly the opposite. So I'm still going to go Gatson, Slight Edge, or DJ Moore, but I think both those guys are going to be outstanding plays regardless of wherever you go with. Pat says half point PPR, Allen, Worthy, McMillan, or can you Dixit? Normally I can, but you got some awesome options here. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen out of that group there, Pat. Good luck to you. Ola Brad with Barkley on a bye and Chase Brown as my other running back. Would you go with Bam Knight or Kyle Monangai this week? Look, I think Knight's got a really good shot to find the end zone, but I'm going to listen to the odds makers. Again, the player prop for Monangai on rush yards open at 76.5. And at BetMGM, last I checked, he was minus 160 in the anytime touchdown market. Cincinnati is number 31 in rush EP80 on the year. They've been an embarrassment. They have been depanted with regularity by the opposition. So Monangai, who fits that outside zone scheme to a T, it's what he ran at Rutgers under Greg Schiano, gets the job done. Give me Monangai overnight, but I don't think you'd be disappointed either way you go. Thomas is one more in a PPR. Bam Knight, Myers, or Watson. Bam is who I'm going with. And no, I'm not worried about Michael Carter. No, I'm not worried about Amari DiMercato. John Gannon came out, I think, yesterday and said, Bam Knight's got to get the ball first. And who is going to get the ball in red zone or goal line situations? Probably Bam Knight. Solomon Knight is got the better break tackle ability of that thrice of running backs, and you're facing Little D, who is one of the worst rush defenses, overall defenses. They are the worst in the entire NFL. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Bam Knight. I did bet on him anytime touchdown at a plus 115. Sean says, love the gaming juice. Great content. Really appreciate it, Sean. Again, folks, if you're not familiar with my website, just go there, all right? I don't charge you anything. I don't make any money on the site. I've been doing it for 20 months for the love of creating written content. Yes, me, the most decorated writer in fantasy industry. I got all these trophies to prove it behind me that are above me, including that Hall of Fame plaque from my buddy and his organization, Andy Behrens, and the Fantasy Sports Writers Association. I've been blessed with a great career. But it's hard on these streets for a lot of writers. And I'm trying to keep the written word alive. Writers, not AI robots. That's what we're all about at thegamingjuice.com. So, Sean, I really appreciate that. Headliners TV, Bam Knight, Gadsden Bowers, sit one. Oh, yeah, Brock Bowers really back? I mean, I can't run the risk of sitting him down and him blowing up. So, for me, it is indeed going to be Brock Bowers, and I will go with Gasson. I think both those guys score. I just got an alert Joe Flacco is good to go. So Joe Flacco will play against my Chicago Bears today. That was always the expectation. Brad down bad. Went against Lamar and Andrews. Ooh, ouch, this week. So need a ceiling play out of these two. Bam Knight, Harvey, Dobbins, KW3 or Charbonnet all day. KW3 is in. That's definitely a ceiling play and what should be a very positive game script. And then I'll take Bam Knight again. I think there was a chance there and go for like 60 yards and a touchdown, maybe exceeds expectations. Oh, Danny calling for it. Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. And that's Sledgehammer special shout out to my guy, Peter Gabriel. By the way, I see some of you give me likes and also hearts. You can give me various emojis, whatever you feel is appropriate for this broadcast. Just interact with me along with your questions on this Bring the Noise AMA. Helps me out a tremendous amount. So please and thank you if you toss out whatever emoji again comes top of mind when you see this ugly face. The only son says, hola, amigo. Need 1.5 point PPR. Ferguson or Kittle? I'm going to go George Kittle. Have him one spot higher in my rankings there at thegamingjuice.com. Though, again, both guys I think are going to be in a similar territory when it's all said and done this week. Ryan says, hola, amigo. Start Nix, Rodgers, or Brissett. Ooh, and I need a wide receiver and a flex between Jimmy DK, Troy Franklin, Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, or Aaron Jones. Washington's in for me out of that group, although Alec Pierce is interesting. DK is even interesting. I need two, actually, out of that group. So great. Who's the second option? And Washington's in. Aaron Jones could do some damage as a receiver today, but it's really going to be contingent on volume and whether he gets in the end zone. Give me DK, believe it or not, for the second guy there. And then out of your quarterback conundrum, I'm going to go with Jacoby Brissett. I'll go with the brisket. Could it really taste all kinds of fine and dandy against Little D and those Dallas Cowboys on Monday night? Smitty So Pretty says, half point PPR start 1. Travis Etienne, Monangai, or Hunt. I'm torn between Monangai and Hunt. Etienne is definitely way out of that equation. Just for reference, his player prop opened at 62.5. Last I saw it was at 54.5. So a lot of movement on the under, and understandably so. Go to matchup against Las Vegas. They have been very stiff and stout there in the trenches. Give me Monangai. I think he's got a slightly higher ceiling than Kareem Hunt. But honestly, I don't hate both those guys, either one, to say the least. Landon says Hunt, Henderson, Dobbins. Oh, our first trivia on Henderson. Will he actually get a sizable amount of touches with Ramondre Stevenson out of action? Believe it when I say it. Give me Kareem Hunt. Most touchdown appeal of that group. Kamara, Bam Knight, and a PBR flex from Danny. 100% going to be Bam Knight, my friend. Mr. GJF Sanchez, Diggs, Shakir, Henderson, or Worthy. Flex rank. Okay, so I'm going to rank him this way. Henderson, number 1, guaranteed touches. I think he will get at least 14 to 16 today. Give me Shakir next, then Diggs, then Xavier Worthy, believe it or not. Last, really not all that least, but some excellent options there. Steve says, hola, good sir. Hola to you, Steve. I hope your Halloween was filled with your favorite candy. It was. I raided the kid's bag. It was delicious. Football PBR, Monangai, Pittman, or Wandale. Dude, you got to go Kyle Monangai. The guaranteed volume speaks, and that sucker is going to be cranked all the way to Spinal Tap 11 level. I think it's going to be minimum 15 touches for him. He'll catch a couple of balls out of the backfield, raise the bottom line. I think he finds the end zone as well. So go with the upside of the former Rutgers standout and Kyle Monangai. Will says Flacco or Daniels. Again, it's a rushing appeal of Joe Flacco. No, although he's running more. Jane Daniels, I got to go with Jane Daniels and his running ways. It's a tough matchup. Flacco's matchup on paper, much more generous. And I think Flacco will spin a couple of touchdown passes. But let's say Daniels spins a couple of touchdown passes. The difference will be in the rush yards production. So give me Daniels by the slimmest of margins over Joe Flacco. Who would have thunk it having that kind of dilemma and me being torn on it in week 10? Welcome to Fantasy Football in 2025. Roger says full point PPR, Pittman or Collins. Give me Michael Pittman. That matchup against the Denver Broncos secondary, a little bit concerning, though, with Surtain injured, is far more appealing. Peter says, would you start Dak or Drake? I'm going to go with a Dak attack. I like the matchup a little bit more against Arizona, and then being at home, and then with obviously an unsupportive defense that thrusts him into some high volume situations. Adam says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Half point PPR, need a running back and a flex. Javonte, Vidal, Nico, and Pittman. Vidal for 1, and I'll go Javonte for the other. Those are very good options across the board. Look, I'm not hating on Nico Collins, just like the other guys. Clint says, hola, Brad, football PPR. Flex out of Monangai, Charbonnet, Gadsden. I'll go Kyle Monangai here, though I love Gadsden. Charbonnet very much on the outside looking in. Todd's got one more. How do you feel about starting Kittle, Kraft at the flex this week, or plug in Keenan out the flex over those? No, man. I would actually go with both of the tight ends. Look, Keenan Allen is fine and dandy. I think he's going to be in a similar tier of ranking and production as those guys. But I like the pair of tight ends and their matchups on paper. Paul says, would you play either Booty, slap that Booty, or Diggs against the Falcons defense? I'm going to go Diggs, slight advantage over Kayshon Booty. DK is the other option. So, yes, give me Diggs, Booty, DK in that order. Roger says, full point PPR need 3. Vidal, Travion Henderson, Kyle Monangai, Knight, or Hunt. Man, I love the piecemeal. Like, did you probably, I mean, obviously Henderson was a guy that went pretty high in a lot of drafts, but all of these rest of the individuals either went undrafted or complete afterthoughts in like a 12-team exercise just weeks ago in the month of August. So welcome to fantasy football in week 10. I'm going to go Vidal for sure for one. And I'm going to go Monangai for the other one. Slide advantage over Kareem Hunt, but all excellent options today. Really last one from Todd. He's got a lot of perplexities, to say the least. Dak or Justin Herbert at quarterback? Give me Herbert, but I got both inside my top 7 of this week. Clint says need to flex 2 of these at a K-Man standard. Yeah, pull the knuckles off the ground. Christian Watson, Hunt, Charbonnet, Drake London, Bam Bam. Okay. Touchdowns are everything in a standard. Normally, I'd always play Drake London, but in this case, the 2 guys I feel are going to score, Bam Bam and Hunt. There you go. You got to go with that, given the style of play and the format. Joe says, ETN, Hunt, or Dobbins, and DK or Debo. I'm going to go DK over Debo, and I'm going to take Hunt over that thrice of backs. Good luck to you. Ryan says, in a 14-team league, would you go Aaron Jones, Jerry McNichols, or Brashard Smith in a PPR? All very close. I think Smith's got to catch probably 3 balls, but will he find the end zone? McNichols, I think he's going to catch at least 3 balls as well, but will he find the end zone? Double A. Aaron Jones, I bet I'm going to go for 20-plus receiving yards. Honestly, I go McNichols, probably the most upside, given the big chunk gain ability that he has after the catch. Kittle or Gadsden, I'm going Kittle there by the slimmest of margins. Mark says, Omega standard in a flex. Chubb or Jones, I'll go Aaron Jones. Robert says, Omega drowning here with injuries. Got to flex 1. Smith, Horton, Io Manor, board in a PPR. I clack and roll the dice with Horton. With Cooper Kupp unlikely to play. This could be a real opportunity for him to shine under the primetime lights against a beatable and exploitable secondary Washington. It's outside the top 24 and drop back EPA defense. Jan says PBR need 2 wide receivers from Moore, Jennings, and Downs. Moore is in, and I'm going to go with Joshua Downs. Kirk says, Illini, I-L-L. Yeah, hopefully they're going to start from the right foot. A nice win yesterday against Rutgers. I was in the house for that game. And a great performance by the Bam, my kid, base 3 drummer on the Marching Illini, getting it done. Really proud of what he has been able to achieve at the U of I. And I'm very proud of the guys yesterday laying the smackdown on Rutgers. And basketball season starts Monday. Woo! Kirk says, Dart or Caleb? Caleb Williams, ever so slight advantage there over Jackson Dart, though I think Dart is going to score the legs. Today, Julian says, hey, Julian, how you doing, man? For my RB2 in PPR, who do I start? Kamara, Charbonnet all day, Tyjae Spears, or Brashard Smith? Kamara I don't trust. Sharbs I really don't trust, but probably has the most touchdown appeal. You know what? I'm going to go with that. Zach Charbonnet maybe gets around 40 yards and a TD against the Commanders tonight. Jeremy says pick 2. One has to be a wide receiver. Tet, DK, Rico, Arena, Dowdle. And bam, Rico Dowdle's in. I know Carolina's a heavy underdog, but I think Canales is seeing the lights. So as a result, he's going to feed Dowdle, I think, a little bit more than Chuba Hubbard today because he's far more explosive, just has more juice in the legs. And then give me DK Metcalf for the other. I think that game is going to live to the 50-plus point total that it currently has. Colts Steelers today. Mark says half-point PPR need 1 wide receiver in a flex. Myers, Worthy, Dowdle, and Wandale. Okay, Dowdle is in. He's your flex. So we do a wide receiver. I'd probably go Xavier Worthy because of that duality that he possesses. Did not have a single carry last week. Rashee Rice was kind of the guy in those situations with 2, but you never know. It could get it done on the ground, could get it done through the air. You got a total of 52.5. I think points will be plentiful there in Western New York, and I want a piece of that action as a result. Key says, Genty, Vidal, Chase Brown, Tyron Tracy, sit 1. It's Tyron Tracy. Largely inefficient running back. I know he's got ample opportunity now with Cam Scattaboo out for the season. And you look at San Francisco, they're number 8 in rush EPA defense. So it's not a very beatable, vulnerable defense. So as a result, He is going to ride the pine from me. Uno mas from Clint. Pick your three best legs for a same game parlay, sir. DK for 39 yards. Ooh, kind of like that one. Vidal, anytime touchdown. That's not a great leg, though, to really jack the juice. Bryce to throw for 2 TDs. Nope. Manungai gets 17 receiving yards. I'm going to go with DK, believe it or not. Again, he has been more of a chunk gain variety guy. And Cam Moore's confidence in him is really growing. He got no Calvin Ridley. And again, Ridley is supposed to be the air yard specialist, and that is now being bestowed upon the shoulders of Chimere DK. So give me DK out of that group. Manungai is a close second, though, for 17 receiving yards. Gypsy Queen says darts or Love. Ooh, really close. Do you go with Jordan Love today against Carolina? Yeah, I probably do. But again, it's tight because I believe Dart's going to find the end zone with the legs. Leanna says Ted Diggs or Keenan. I wish I had some of those options on a couple of my teams. Have been just painful and awful. Rubbish. Hey, even the fantasy folks that cover all this, we have our bad seasons, and I'm having one in a couple leagues, to say the least. I'm going to go Keenan Allen. Probably the most PPR upside there. TB12, who led things off on this broadcast today, says Johnson, Barner, or Loveland. Colston, Loveland. Some other of all matchups. Cincinnati's allowed 10 touchdowns to the tight end position and the most fantasy points to tight ends. Yes, I bet on Colston, Loveland to find the end zone for the first time at plus 310 today. It's on the always free, transparent, and public spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com. IL looked good yesterday. Yes, they did, Jay. I was at the game, hoping they get ranked again. We'll see. I mean, defensively, they made some strides, and that was most important. But, yeah, if they get ranked, that's great. They're trending right now toward the Citrus Bowl, make another appearance in that outstanding exercise. That's a little payout there for the school. Gypsy Queen says, need a running back, too, and a flex. Tyrone Tracy, Wandale, RJ Harvey, Woody Marks, or Jameson Williams. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. JMO, the coaching staff says, we failed him. We let him down. They're going to force feed him. So JMO is in. And I'm going to go with RJ Harvey. My esteemed colleague on the Fade 5 podcast. Check it out where you download, subscribe, and wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get them. Nate Lundy, who is a diehard Broncos fan, season ticket holder, he's high on RJ Harvey this week. He's seen every snap of his NFL career. I agree with him. So, yeah, ride his coattails because I am. Tommy says PPR. Olave or Dobbs? Give me Olave. Slim as margin there. Leanna says Olave pick 2. Already answered 1. I thought it was 1. No, it's 2. So you need Keenan. And I'll go, can you digs it? Yes, I can. Roger says, should I start Flacco with a shoulder? Should I pick up Darnold or Lawrence? Lawrence, no. Not with Travis Hunter. Darnold, maybe if you're worried about it. If you are frightened that Flacco was going to land on that sucker, and it's going to be the Jake Browning show as a result, then, yeah, go with Sam Darnold. Safer option, great matchup. Yeah, I just minimize the risk and go that direction. Jeremy says 2 Manungai questions for you. Manungai or QJ, is that Quinshon Junkins? Because he is on a break, a little 1 week CS on the bye. Or are you talking about Quentin Johnston? I don't know what these initials stand for necessarily. So could be somebody I don't even know. I'm going to go Manungai. And then Manungai, Bill, Travion, London, Bowers. Extra half a point for tight ends and a PPR. I probably have to take advantage of that and go with Brock Bowers. And I love Manungai. And I would take Manungai, the other ones that you listed there. Kirk says, Gaming Juice is awesome. Thank you. Very cool. Appreciate it. Again, we've been after for 20 months. If you're an enthusiast of college basketball like me, again, I will slow drip some of that content out. I may not have anything for opening night because honestly, folks, I'm a college basketball follower, writer. I love the sport through and through. I just don't know all these teams quite yet. With the NIL, a lot of guys changing locations. I got to scout them. I got to compare it to a lot of the data. So I may wait until like feast week to start rolling out some of the weekly handicaps on a game-by-game basis in that sport. But I appreciate you checking out the site and all the fantasy football content I'm cranking out there at the Gaming Juice. Senior, I have no idea what that is. You're an AI bot. Go away. Aubrey says, hola, Brad. Half point PPR, I need a wide receiver and a flex. Kamara, Pollard, Jacoby Myers, or Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is in. And I go Myers, the one. Man, Alvin Kamara is on limited time. Promo code JUICE. Again, that's promo code JUICE. That's at betalytics.com. Not my website. My friends at Betalytics. And you got to sign up on the website, not on their app, with that promo code JUICE to get your 25% off. Will says mandatory Montgomery or Brandon Knight. Again, both these guys I feel are going to score. Give me mandatory. Joe says different league. New question. Dobbins or Javonte Williams? It's Javonte, please. Dunze Sutton or Keenan. Oh, Dunze. Quit playing games. Lana says, love ya. Pick two more. Hey, Lana, I've already answered this, I think 3 times now. As the last time I'll answer it, it is going to be Diggs and Keenan Allen. You're sitting Ted McMillan. Good luck. Steve says full point PPR, Uncle Rico or Troy Franklin. Rico Herrera. Dowdle for me. Lyrically outspoken, Slayton, Bam Knight, Franklin, and Parker Washington need 2. Bam is in. Again, I think he's got a slam and Bam his way into the red zone and in the end zone. And then give me Parker Washington. A little bit more upside compared to the other 2 guys listed. Jeremy says Tet, Brian Thomas, T. Higgins, or Pittman. Man, I love me some Pittman today. Yeah, I'm going to go Michael Pittman. Really good shot. He's got to hit 60 yards. I think he's got a decent chance to find the end zone as well. And dregs the cake at quarterback, really. I mean, these guys are starting, so not quite the dregs of the cake. Mac Jones, Jacoby, Bryce Young, Geno Smith. In these situations, you got to maximize the matchup, my man. So I'm going to go with Jacoby Brissett. Brisket could be awfully tasty. Dustin says standard scoring, DJ Moore. Alec Pierce, give me DJ Moore. Bandit says Jags or Broncos defense. I'm going to go with Jags. And I know Nico's going against the Broncos, but no, Surtain, absence, not great. Tanish says a full part PPR, Marvin Harrison or Chris Olave. Again, take advantage of the matchup. It's little D. I will go Marvin Harrison. Justin says, hola, amigo. PPR pick 3. Nico, Tucker, Dobbs, JSN, or Temic. My God. Why even listen, JSN? Automatic play at this point, especially in that matchup. He should be good for 100 yards and a likely touchdown. I go him, I go Nico, and I go Kraft. Good luck to you. Scott says, Ola Brad, Jordan Love, or Drake May. Oh, close. I'm going to go Drake May. Gypsy says, need 2. Bam Knight, Manungai, Tyrone Tracy, Marks is the first 2. Manungai and Bam Knight. Eric goes, thank you for all your work. Half point PPR. My pleasure. Travion Henderson or Rico Dotto. Rico Dotto for me. Eric says, Harvey or Franklin in a standard. RJ Harvey. I think it's got more touchdown appeal today. Evan says, how's it going? Hola, amigo. Henderson or Chubb. I'm going to go Henderson. Got to follow the volume. It should crank up today. If it doesn't, it's never going to freaking happen. Juwan Johnson is the other one. Now, it's still Travion Henderson for me, please. And thank you, the only Sutton. Olave or Quentin Johnston. The Saints quarterback situation is shaky. Yeah, you could say that again with Tyler Shuck at the controls. I still go Olave. I think there will be force feedings. This could be like a 7-8 target kind of game for him. Quentin Johnson, I don't know, Jim, to go like Tony Romo on you. I don't know. You know, what kind of workload is he going to get with the evolution and really explosion of Rondé Gadsden? It's coming at his expense. Fantasy John Doe, Brissett or Flacco. Again, if you want to clack and roll the dice on Flacco and that AC joint, he would be my preferred pick, but my goodness, Jacoby Brissett minimizes the risk because you're getting little D. So if you want to play it safe, go Brissett. If you really want to chase the ultimate upside, I think Flacco is probably your guy. Guillermo says, hola, Brad, Dowdle or Knight in a PPR. Really close because, again, I feel Bam Knight is going to find the end zone, but Rico Herrera, Dowdle. Again, I have no idea what that reference is. Look it up. Gerardo Rico Suave, one-hit wonder for the 1990s. I'm old. I'm going to go with Dowdle there. Slight advantage overnight. Leanna, yeah, I already answered that. Joseph, got a bench 1. PP, or we don't know if it's PPR. Pittman, Dunze, or Pickens. Oh, my God. Embarrassment of riches. I would kill to be you. Give me God. I guess Odunze. I I'd love all those plays. Tremendous options. I'm jealous. Steven says, good morning. Need help picking my second running back spot and second flex spot in a full PPR matchup this week. Deciding between Bam 9, Rico Dottle, Jordan Addison, Kenneth Walker, DJ Moore, Dobbs. Okay. So you need a running back and a second flex. Again, I'm going to go with Dottle. I've been going with him the entire show. Slide advantage overnight. And I go DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is going to be sneaky effective today. Sean, one more. Halfway PPR, Aaron Jones or Woody Marks. Very close options. Give me Aaron Jones. With check down Charlie, JJ McCarthy at the controls. He could be a point of emphasis through the air. They could be playing from behind early in that game against Detroit. Mike says Jameson Williams, a squeaky wheel gets the grease. JCM, Aaron Jones. It's Williams for me. Start one. Injuries and buys killing me. Really aren't killing. You got some decent options there. Try playing like a 20-team league, 60-team league. This guy, yeah, it hurts. Bill says PPR flex, Ted McMillan or Colson Loveland. I want to roll the dice, man, with Colson Loveland. I really have a good feeling he's got to have a good game. It's a tremendous matchup. It can't get any better than what he has on paper against those Queen City Bungles. Colin says a better three to go with in DFS, Bourne, Hunt, Rams, or DK Manungai, Chiefs. DK Manungai, Chiefs may be the way to go, but the Chiefs side of it is my one area of concern. All right, scratch it. I'm going to go Bourne, Hunt, Rams, because that Rams defense could absolutely ball out today. Fantasy John Doe, what do you think, bench in a PPR, or who do you bench? A Ted Dowdle or Debo? It's Ted for me. Todd says Allen or Higgins. Hey, Todd, you still got questions. I can tell. I'm going to go with T. Higgins. Bennett need two running backs. Hunt, ETN, KW3, ETN sits. Jim says E2, PPR, Henderson, Montgomery, Hunt, Marks. I'm going to go Hunt. And I'm going to go mandatory Montgomery. Sorry, Travion Henderson. I got to see it first. I don't trust Vrabel. I really don't. Pops Nations, full point PPR, Quentin Johnson, Kamara, or Josh Downs. Most yardage upside. Yikes. It's definitely not Johnson because the emergence of Gadsden. It's not Kamara. He's got one foot in the grave right now. I'm going to go Josh Downs, please and thank you. Thanks, buddy. Good luck this week. Good luck to you. Roger says full point PPR, Henderson, Knight, Hunt, or Rico Herrera. Dowdle. I'll go Hunt there in a full point PPR. Anthony says Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Gadsden or DK. Oh, Gadsden, please, Anthony. Brian says the goat. I can't make good goat sounds. And I kind of look like a goat, kind of pasty and white. Flex. Bill, Gadsden, or Horton. Go with Gadsden, dude. All day long. All right, I'm going to hear for just a couple of more minutes. Again, here's how you can submit your questions on this Bring the Noise AMA broadcast. I'm at via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube, the Faith of Noise channel on X, where I'm always giving it to you at Noisy Huevos. Go to my website. It's free, thegamingjuice.com. Sign up for a free account. You can ask me questions in our slow chat. Click Ask Brad at the top of the screen. And if you're a member, and again, I don't charge you a dime to get that membership, you can fire off your questions and I answer them at my leisure, at my convenience. Make sure to check out my podcast on Nate Lundy, the Fade 5 podcast. Check out my radio show, myself and Ryan Horvath, called Bet MGM tonight, Monday through Friday, across iHeart Odyssey stations nationwide, even streams right there on my website at thegamingjuice.com. Again, for free. And you can call in the show. We take your questions, giving it fantasy spins, giving it betting spins, giving it standard sports talk spins. We do it all. Kind of a smorgasbord of sports talk goodness there on BetMGM tonight. Also, go to my friends at Betalytics.com. Got to go to the website at Betalytics.com. Use that promo code JUICE. Again, promo code JUICE for their awesome projections. Really helps me out in all my research, whether betting or fantasy. Use that promo code JUICE for 25% off today. All right, we got looks like a couple of more questions. that have come in, and one from Doug. Bonjour. Bonjour to you, Doug. Dak or Dart? I'm with Dak. And Doug's got a follow up. He says, half point PER, I need two out of Bam, Kamara, Jennings, and Keon Coleman. Bam is in, and I guess I go with Jennings. He's playing through myriad injuries, but playing pretty well. And you got to love the matchup against the Giants, who are bottom half in terms of drop back EPA defense. Captain K says, need two from Bam Knight. Jawan Jennings or Khalil Shakir in a PPR. Thank you. I'm going to go with Shakir for sure. Again, I want all piece of action I can get in a game that could be the highest scoring affair of week number 9 in Chiefs and Bills. And give me Bam Knight. Very popular ask today. I wrote about it on thegamingjuice.com. The origin story of his nickname is kind of fun. I got that for the Arizona Republic, which I referenced and linked to, obviously. Got to source stuff, folks. All right. They're great humans cranking out great journalistic work. And the old newspaper markets across the country are not quite dead, but they're on a pulse. So support them the best way you can. I do all the time. So yeah, Bam Knight, man, he's got to be in my lineup again. I feel he's got to find the end zone. And Joe, looks like this could be the last question of the show. PPR need two. Hawkinson. Oh, I might have a couple more here. Terrell Jennings. Wow, we got a Terrell Jennings signing. Michael Carter, Jimmy Horn, or Pat Bryant. This is how desperate it is. Hawk is in. And I'll roll, I guess, with Carter. They're saying he's got to get some work. He was released and signed a practice squad, but he's elevated the active roster. Yeah, good luck to you. I would love to say Pat Bryant, but, man, he is hard to predict. The former ILL standout, Captain K. Jackson Dart or Jared Goff? Last question. I'm going to go with Goff. Tears up Minnesota. Here's your core four to DFS lineup. Oh, shout out to, I guess, Jeff Mans. Is that you're going for? I don't play traditional DFS. So honestly, I don't really care. I will give you four guys that are probably going to be available at a reasonable cost that I do like today. And if you need somebody that's kind of off the beaten path and ultra cheap, I think it's going to be Jeremy McNichols. I like Kamani Vidal. I like Rico Dottle, which will probably have low ownership in that kind of setup. And then looking at some of the other matchups there, I mean, I guess at quarterback, you could also look at it, say, like a Joe Flacco, who could be at a reasonable cost. But, folks, I don't play those like Nane or Renane draft salary cap kind of DFS games. I did for a fleeting moment, the old school, DK and FanDuel back in the day, but not anymore, because sports betting is a hell of a lot easier to follow, less complicated, and I enjoyed far more. Evan says flex in a PPR. Troy Franklin, Kirk, or Parker Washington. It's definitely Parker Washington for me. All right, I'm out of breath and out of time. I got to get moving. Folks, a friendly reminder. Again, I'm going to be on Bleacher Report, my buddy Danny Kluppinger, at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern Time. It also streams on YouTube, so I will post that link on my X account at Noisy Huevo, so you would tune in for that show, taking your last minute questions, throwing out some more player prop leans as well. Go to thegamingjuice.com. All kinds of content. I'm going to have my Sunday Night Football primetime props that's already live on the site. I'm going to display it more prominently after kickoff today. Monday Night Football primetime props already live. I'll have my rankings already ahead of week 10 out early as well. You get it all. I don't charge anything at thegamingjuice.com, and use that promo code JUICE for 25% off, my friends there at Betalytics. They could use your help. They're from Toronto. They're in pain and in misery after what happened last night. Just an epic Game 7 of the World Series. Absolutely loved it. Great way to put a cherry on top of the Sunday of this MLB season. All right, until next time, get that dub in fantasy, and adios, amigos. Peace out.